See how the algorithm works. Yeah. Let's see how it works. Let's see if it even tells anybody at this time of night if I'm live. Let's hear it. Let's see it. Hey, all right. Look at that. Ian's here. See, maybe I should have insomnia more often. Maybe I should. Yeah. So I got up. It's good to see you, Ian. All right. I got up. Or did I ever really go to sleep? I don't know. What's on my mind? Okay. Maybe I will talk about the article that I kept thinking about. Yeah. And let the music go. How's it like in your neck of the woods all the way out there in Ireland? Should be happy to be there and not in this shithole country. All right, I will start with what's going on in my mind. It was watching crap on YouTube, and it was the ever-growing list of shit that is really bothersome. It was an article I read by a guy named J. Thomas Dunn, who has his last he wrote his last Substack article. He called it Why This Is My Last Substack Article. And he said, and he wrote it in November, and he's right. And he said, what I found, he said, the data is clear, even if most of us aren't ready to hear it. We've already crossed several critical tipping points. The feedback loops are engaged. Global societal collapse isn't a possibility we can avoid through better policy or technical innovation. It's inevitable, and it's coming within the next decade. And this guy was a sustainability writer, He was one of those guys. And he said it. He said, I discovered two critical flaws in my own work. First, human survival doesn't depend on building a better economy. It depends on the elimination of economy itself. The wealth and resources of a region defined by the production and consumption of goods and services, the very framework he was trying to reform, is the problem. And second, the third industrial revolution, green energy transition he was advocating for, is a fantasy. He says we can't transition to a new renewable energy system without pushing past peak energy. The mining, manufacturing, and infrastructure required to build out solar, wind, and battery technology at scale would consume more energy than we could afford to spend. We'd have to burn through remaining fossil fuels at even faster rate to build a supposed solution, accelerating our timeline to collapse rather than preventing it. And he says these aren't minor corrections to his thesis. They are crumbling foundations. And you know what? It's kind of like the crumbling foundation for me. And there's more than just that. There's more than just that. I was corresponding with two good friends, and I didn't pull it up, but maybe I could pull it up. It's an article. It was an email. And it was an article about, let me see if I can find it. If I can find it, I'll just give you the gist of it. Why not, right? Let me make this bigger. Well, this goddamn technology. So that's fucked too. Okay. So the article was Yahoo. And it was the Trump administration wants to access your social media records. And we've got some bad news for you. And this was from the Huff Post. So we all know this is happening. That third-party organizations like social media companies do not have to comply with administrative subpoenas. Not all companies will comply, but some have cooperated. Now, there was an example that he gave, and it was a 67-year-old recent retiree. Google had handed over information about this guy because the user emailed a federal prosecutor about an immigration case he read about. Federal officials later showed up at his door after he received a notice from Google about the subpoena. So the Department of Homeland Security withdrew the subpoena, but it's still, the idea of government monitoring your social media activity and all this other bullshit, it's going to happen. So I wrote back, because it's an email thread, and you know that the United States is fucking circling the drain. So I wrote back first, if I can find where I wrote it. Where did I write it? Oh my God. Well, now I can't find my response. Basically, my response was, I'm small. What does it matter? There's a lot bigger people, blah, blah, blah. But then the other person wrote back to me that it wasn't just about that. It's the bigger picture. The bigger picture. Why can't I find it? See, sometimes I can't stand this email because this technology is just suck ass. But it's the bigger picture. It's if we give up, if we fight it. I mean, if we give up the fight, and everybody gives up the fight, they fucking win. They win. I have never been one to give up, but a lot of people are in this mood. A lot of people. Sam, my very good friend, just gave up Collapse Chronicles. And, it's upsetting to me. He's on Substack, but I understand it because it's a burnout thing. We're having burnout from all this shit. All this shit. And hi, Chaz. You're up too. What time is it? You're in the same time. Yeah, it's Insomniacs show. Why not? I mean, I could screen share what I've been looking at. It doesn't matter. You can look at my face. Look at my mug. And I'm probably going to have to get up and get more water because I goddamn die of thirst. But it's all this shit. I wish I could find the exact email. I hate when these emails do this. That's another thing, technology. It's like I try to keep up and learn and know all this shit, and it's so fucking annoying. It's really annoying. And all right, so here it is. All right, here it is. I wrote back. I don't really care. My channel's small, and if they go after me, what a waste of money. They've got bigger fish to fry. Have you seen the iHip girls? Holy shit, I'm so far down in the algorithm that even a search won't fucking find me. I know, never say never. I actually called an attorney after I made my video about Extinction Rebellion, and the one person the FBI went after. So I don't know if you guys saw that 15-minute thing that I did. I like those little news clips. It's not that it goes anywhere, because that's another complaint here. And then, the other person wrote back, the issue is not us, little small channels. It's the fascist intimidation of free speech. This move implies for everyone who wants to say what they think about the orange turd. Okay? So, he was right. And it made me think about this. And in this country, to have to think about free speech when I've grown up 6 decades of having it, for better or for worse, 6 decades of having it. and being able to say whatever I've wanted and not feel a lot of fear. The only thing that happened to me was getting the channel taken down when the AI algorithm did that, right? Okay. But I don't know if I have fear. I mean, we joke about the knock at the door, but you just don't know now. I say, okay, we've crossed the Rubicon, we've crossed the tipping points. We have an authoritarian piece of shit country. I mean, the United States is disgusting. And I could get in a lot of trouble for saying it probably, but I don't give a shit. I've made a million videos. If I pulled up my YouTube and I could play you the videos I have made about fascism. I've done it all. I've covered it all for years. And does it really even matter? So this guy wrote, his final advice was collapse is coming. And that's most certain. He said, here's the bottom line. If you're not able to produce water, food, or shelter and power in an independent and sustainable way for you or your loved ones by 2035, it may be too late. Okay, so instead of feeling sorry for myself, I have to say, oh, I'm really lucky to live where I am, but I have to be able to fucking stay where I am. I have to be able to pay my taxes. I can't afford to fucking pay my taxes. I mean, it's pathetic, but we live in a gig economy, and I never, that's another thing I'm complaining about. There was another Substack by Ricky Lanous. That's what his name is. And he was upset. He's been writing, this is another thing. He's been writing on Substack. He was writing on Medium for a long time. He's like, in our genre, this collapse and climate change and all that. And he was writing, I don't know if I can find his article. Maybe I can, because actually his was also really good. And if I could find that, I don't know if you guys out there, not that many of you, even want to see what I'm looking at. Let me know if you want me to screen share. I will, and I'll find the Ricky article, because that was also really good. And let me see if I can find it. Ricky, okay, here. It was Jeffrey Deal. That's how I found it, through Jeffrey, who was responding to Ricky. A writer's wound. Do you want to see my screen, or is just me blabbing? Oh, you want me to screen share? Okay. All right. Hi, Dean. Let me screen share. I don't mind at all. I don't mind at all. Hang on. I'll just get the other. Okay, let's screen share. Why not accommodate you wonderful, amazing people that are with me at this ridiculous time in here anyway. Okay, I will screen share and make sure you can see okay. So there we are. A Writer's Wound by Ricky Lanous. Now this was another one I read on Substack, and it made me feel something, because I understand what he said. They don't kill all writers, they just let them bleed out. But it's the same thing with social media in a way, although I just started writing on Substack, and I know that Substack is not going to make me all this money, or Substack is not going to all of a suddenly people are going to say, wow, she's writing something so much different than everybody else, because I'm really not. Although I am writing about things that matter to me, and I go to the beat of my own drummer. I don't follow any kind of YouTube channel thing that makes me successful. I do what I want to do when I want to do it. That's it. So Ricky was writing about this, and he said he began writing when still a total neophyte to the climate and political scene. And he had to learn with thousands of people watching. So I want to get down to where it goes. He was on Medium, and in his time, and like me and Jennifer, we used to get thousands of views, and then the pandemic happened. Everybody and their brother got a YouTube channel, and we had stayed as long as we could. But time marches on. And also, when you get older, nobody gives a shit. I am invisible. I'm invisible when I go to the store, I'm invisible. And that's another thing. But Ricky is writing, it's brutal when you publish a piece you know is strong and the platform simply refuses to draw your card. Honestly, draw your card. So only you know all the time and spent, all the research, all the fact checking, all the invisible work behind a 10-minute essay that won't get what it deserves. One piece even crossed 500,000 views, a number that should have translated into real compensation, only to earn a fraction of what some reach had produced before. So there was audience. And that's how I felt. I didn't even monetize, until what, 2 years ago, was it? I didn't want to. I never wanted to, not when I was with Jennifer. And then it felt like, well, I had to because I have to survive, right? And it's not poor me here. I'm not whining. I'm not a victim. I'm not saying, oh gosh, whatever. I'm just giving you what's the fact. And I am not any different than millions of others. But he was saying he didn't stop writing. He didn't lower the bar. He didn't outsource his voice to the AI brains or start chasing trends. He doubled down on his work. And he said, most people on the planet don't get to choose what they do for a living. They take whatever work exists. Even fewer get to do something that actually resonates with who they are. When you have that kind of work, yes, it may come with a sense of responsibility that never quite fades, but it also gives you a reason that feels to get up, that feels coherent. That is why I still stay here on YouTube, because there are those of you which are what 0.00000000000% of the people on the planet are important to me. And it's the camaraderie that I think the channel has built a little bit, right? But I feel for Ricky because Ricky really is a writer. I just started writing on Substack because I felt like it was just something that would make me feel better about all of this garbage going on, and maybe it would be cathartic. But he put himself behind a paywall, but he can already see the comments. Here's another hypocritical writer making a living out of criticizing capitalism, yet whining about unfair earnings. I get that a lot, he said. Yes, some of my articles live behind a paywall, but participating in the system because I need to eat and pay rent doesn't mean I think it's good. It means I'm dealing with reality while advocating for something better, which is exactly how a lot of us feel. And he's talking about all this crap, this bullshit that's happening. Political climate and systemic writers are hit the hardest and the same thing with YouTube channels. Paul, he might get 13,000 views, but that's a drop in the bucket on who should hear Paul's message, Paul Beckwith. Just have a think. He's definitely gets more views, but he does because he makes short, and he had a lot of good technology, but he makes short, and he was totally in the culture. You know what I mean? He's totally in capitalism. He was totally into green energy and all that stuff. He would talk about everything that a lot of people clicked with, because he wasn't negative about things falling apart like this guy, J. Thomas Dunn. And I'll tell you who he is. J. Thomas Dunn called me Jay. I'm a working class single dad. I run a collaborative commons in Eugene, where my brother lives. And he shares his thoughts on tactical resistance. I slay words with friends, and I've never met an Oreo cow I didn't like. So that's where my brother lives. Okay. And, but he's writing about why he's not going to. He said, like I said earlier, global societal collapse isn't a possibility we can avoid through better policy or technical innovation. I know a lot of people want to feel that way. And I don't want to take away anybody else's good feelings or feelings that they need to get up in the morning. And so I'm going to go down to what it means for him. He redirected his energy toward what actually matters in the time we have left. Building local resilience, strengthening community bonds, teaching practical skills for food production and resource sharing, and helping people prepare psychologically and practically for what's coming. There you go. It's right there. And I've been talking about it in the things that I do, but I don't teach it. Gardening, growing food, canning, the things that I do here where I live. I don't even know how long I could do them. I'm freaking disabled as shit. I have a bad back and, I have to pay a kid to bring up my firewood and help me. But man, I do more than a lot of people I know. But he's doing it with this nonprofit called Better World Coalition, and he feels it's now more important than ever. So his final advice, collapse is coming, that's almost certain. And he said, it's really that simple. I read that to you before, the bottom line. We blew it. We extracted too much and excreted too much waste. We plundered, consumed, and shit on this planet to the point of mass extinction. Every single empire in history has collapsed within 250 to 300 years. This one is different in one way. It's global, which means the collapse will be global. And as a side note, the one factor that every single collapsed empire has in common is widespread inequality. It's guarantee of collapse, and we here in America have perfected the art of business, and business of inequality. We have, and I don't know what happened to me tonight. I had my stupid iPad, which sometimes I just mindlessly watch dumbass political YouTube videos, and they get me riled up because I'm so enmeshed right now in what's happening politically, because it's such a clusterfuck. And I have such I guess I have a terrible case of Trump derangement syndrome. I fucking hate the guy. And it's not just him, though. It's everything that they stand for. Everything that this administration stands for. But even the last one, even though, Biden was a bit better, but they're all the same. I criticize the orange turd. And I do respond emotionally to the rhetoric and the policies because I see how they're affecting me. And I see how MAGA and these clueless fucking morons, to quote Sam Mitchell, Collapse Chronicles, Hambo Littletail, and Collapse Chronicles is no more. Clueless fucking morons. But is it really their fault, or were they just brainwashed? Were they just filled and pumped with so much disinformation and misinformation? That's been going on time immemorial. I mean, that's been going on forever, hasn't it? Hasn't it? It really has. So he talks about this. It was a good article. Community size. And hi, Steve Breedlove. It's good to see you. He talks about all this. And he said, within the next 10 years, things are going to get catastrophically bad. And people don't realize this. And institutions and infrastructure will most likely collapse. And it is being cheered on by this administration. So if I have Trump derangement syndrome, and I say it, and I was accused of it today, I say, well, then I'm proud of it. I'm proud of it. So what he said was building a localized, resilient community, which we've talked about before ad nauseum. But it has to be small. It can't be more than 150 people because that's where things fall apart when it's too many people. So I think that's what I might have here. I don't know, though. We're all getting older. But when I look and I think of this list of shit that is happening. I mean, this is the things I think about. We have we're expanding the fossil fuel use, and it's not just the United States. I mean, I happened upon a YouTube channel of this guy. He's Australian, and I'm really sorry, but he lives in Russia. I guess he has a Russian wife and he's Australian. And he walks around, he goes and shows you apartments and houses in Russia. And he goes, "Do you think you could live here?" And all this crap. And one of the things that he said was, "Oh, here's a new housing community. It's 30 kilometers from Moscow. And the electric's in here. You buy a house, but you have to put all the shit in there. And they have gas out in the street." And the thing that got me was the gas was out on the street, the gas line. And he said, quote, "Gas is really cheap here." And so I'm watching and I'm thinking, yeah, gas is really cheap there because they don't give a shit. They don't care. Are they doing anything in that? That's a big country. Are they doing anything? No, they're expanding. And so all of our fighting, if other countries are not going to do anything, we certainly aren't now. My God, we give more subsidies for oil, gas, and coal. We ignore the science. They're killing the science. The Trump administration is killing the science. Killing the science and selling off our federal lands. We're not preparing for any of the tipping points, which is, the crop failures that are going to come or ocean heat. We're not preparing for any of it. We're just greenwashing a bunch of shit. And then data centers. There's another thing. Yes, I'm free associating data centers. Data centers. That's my thing here is fighting it. And I think I've made headway and maybe we won't have one in my county. But you know what'll happen? You know what I keep thinking will happen? I'll fight. We'll keep a data center out. But then the greedy people around here will say, "Okay, well, you know what I want? We'll just use this land and because ICE has so much money, we'll let them build a detention center here." I don't know how come I came up with that, but I'm thinking because we're a farming community. I don't know. So far, I looked at the ICE tracking. There is a website you could track where ICE detention centers are being built. So far, it's not here. And that was pretty good. I don't have that pulled up, or I would look at it. Hey, TR. TR, look at that. People are figuring out I'm live, all 10 of you. All right, so let me go back. I'll go back to the screen share and we'll look at the rest of this guy's piece. He said, and I think I already read this, survival doesn't depend on building a better economy. It depends on the elimination of economy itself. The wealth and resources of a region defined by production and consumption of goods and services, that's the problem. It's the problem. All right. I already read that in the beginning. So what this means. I want to go back down to his final advice where he says, we blew it. But the only civilizations, when he talks about civilization that's collapsing or falling, is the only ones that survive for thousands of years have a few things in common. Partnership societies, domination societies like patriarchy are an eventual death sentence. We're seeing it now. And they're criminal. I understand. Let me put you up there. This society cannot exist without fossil fuels. So the many more of those who can critically think, those who are not clueless morons, innately choose indifference rather than accept the truth. And indifference is terrible for me anyway. There's a lot of us that can't be indifferent to these things. And you're right. Yeah. So, decentralized Civilization is a recipe for inequality and inevitable collapse. Cooperation and sharing, not only within communities, but between communities. Cooperating and sharing between communities ensures survival and genetic diversity, which I don't quite understand that one. The genetic diversity. Maybe for the Amish, I mean, they need community size. The Dunbar number, this is what he says, is less than 150. Any more than that, and the community breaks down into competing cliques. That's what I always think about. You know how the whole conversation went into intentional communities, and communal type things. I think the only true communal societies that survive are the kibbutz in Israel. However, I don't know what they're doing now, but the original kibbutz. Okay. But it can't be more than 150 people. No economy. Trade is not based on production, consumption, and profit, but rather the direct needs and contribution of its members. Skills and knowledge are as valuable as goods. I mean, it all makes sense, doesn't it? Within 10 years, things are going to get bad. Collapse is happening. And there you go. Build it now. Because we're not just talking about institutional collapse. This was a guy who was writing greenwashing hopium shit, who came to this conclusion. This isn't just something that happened overnight for this person. That collapse will likely result in the deaths of around 6 billion by 2050. I won't be here. But my daughter will. And I want to teach her, but she, right now she's still somewhat clueless. Although she's not a breeder. She won't have kids. Right now, the annual rate of climate change related deaths is about 500,000. That rate will increase. Now, he's using the word exponentially that Elliot doesn't like when you use it. But it's exponentially over the next 10 years. This is what this writer says. You'll either take this warning seriously or not. It's up to you. The stakes are real. The evidence is there if you choose to look. Okay, that's it for me. Reach out if you have questions. So one final note, and the cult of Americanism, built on the framework of racism, patriarchy, and capitalism, is what got us here. Do not allow the corrupting influences of these frameworks into your communities. They have all but destroyed the old world. Do not let them survive to poison the new world. The upcoming collapse is a dystopian nightmare that is rendered all the more tragic because it could have been prevented. But when the lights go out and the internet goes down and the monetary system crumbles, we have the opportunity to build something better. And that we is not me. But that we is who we leave behind. That me is the younger generations. Those are the people that I don't want to sap of any kind of feeling that they can have something different. It may just not be the something different that capitalism is showing, is giving, or has given. It's getting rid of what he says, racism, patriarchy, and capitalism, and building something better for those who are left. Wow. It was pretty heavy. But then we can go back to Ricky, and who writes all about this stuff. And I wanted to get down to the bottom of where he was. Okay. A small group of obscenely wealthy people own most of what grows in value. Stocks, real estate businesses. Is it a coincidence that this started with the crypto crush? I don't think so. Everyone else trades hours for wages that inch while assets sprint ahead in price. So the gap widens on autopilot. Even your discipline can't be compounding when you're locked out of the compounding class. So he's talking about what's actually happening. And the other guy, J. Thomas Dunn, from Eugene, the Collaborative Commons guy in Oregon, is writing about what's actually going to happen. And Ricky is writing that these are the last days of these platforms on social media. At least I feel like that. I mean, YouTube, Collapse Chronicles just shut down because YouTube is just terrible. It's sad. My channel, Antonio, and it was Jennifer, we are so far down. We're not even on anybody's algorithm. I don't even know how any of you saw that this was live. I don't even know how. Maybe the clueless fucking morons know and just chose not to be miserable. I was just watching Hambo dealing with this. I know he is. Listen, trust me, I've been talking to him, but I'm not dealing with the same thing. I'm not depressed. I'm not. I just have insomnia. I'm not depressed because I'm just not. Maybe because I'm so busy all the time. I keep myself busy all the time, and I don't feel like I'm just different. We're different people. We can care about each other, but we're different people. So Ricky's writing about the house already knows you'll keep playing because it knows that the traditional path to wealth, work hard, climb the ladder, save money, buy a house, is broken. But people still repeat the ritual. They have to. Keep doing what you're told for 20, 30 years and maybe afford stability or take a shot at something risky that could change everything quickly. And that's what people are doing on YouTube. And a lot of them are being successful. I mean, but it's the same thing. I watch all the political commentators right now because of the orange turd. They are making bank. I'm not. But I'm older and we live in a visual world. Hey, I'm a realist. I understand that. So, but Ricky's just talking about extreme wealth, inequality, persistent. He's just talking about the platforms, the algorithms, how they just suck. These companies, they don't need you to succeed. They just need you to keep trying. And I keep trying. Yeah. Yeah, well, and that's why the platform is he might be talking about this one keeps flashing Obama's post like a trophy in a display case, a calculated reminder that legitimacy once lived here while they systematically bury everyone who writes with the same rigor. And so he's talking about Substack. He was talking about Medium, now he's talking about Substack. I talk about YouTube, but I started writing on Substack not because I think I'm going to be successful here. Like I said earlier, it's because it's cathartic and I feel good and I like it and it's discipline. And it actually keeps my brain from turning into slop, really. And I like that. But he says, Substack follows these similar incentives, posts go out technically. But who knows who looks? I look at the algorithms. I mean, the algorithms. I look at the data once in a while on any of these platforms. I don't do that to myself. So once in a while I look, 30% people open the emails, whatever. I still do it. Just like he just said, I still do it. But he's also talking about AI slop is thriving, which it is. All those channels seem to pop up in my channel, AI slop channels. Yeah, perfect. Easily digested by humans trained to skim because we've lost our attention spans. So he's like, this is just more of, he says, congratulations, you're witnessing the end of social media as a place where serious human thought is structurally welcome. So mix that with the other article on collapse, and there you have it. We there's no place for a wolf in the sheep pen. Hmm. If you want to keep writing brave and bold, you pay with friction, with reach, with money, and the constant struggle wears you down mentally and emotionally. Well, I'm not going to let that happen because I'm just writing with no expectations. I learned a long time ago, my friends, that if you have no expectations, you don't get disappointed. Am I disappointed in things? No. I mean, why should I let myself be? I mean, just because we have a ecological and climate reality that's hideous, but and these things get to me. I'm not disappointed because I certainly didn't expect anything from this administration. I expected this to be this bad. I read Project 2025. I certainly know what's happening. I mean, we have the worst executive overreach. We're authoritarian. They're trying to erode all the voting, the way to vote. Surveillance is everywhere. China is already really surveilled. And the Chinese people, some of them really like it because there's not a lot of crime because they can't do anything. But the United States has always been the Wild West of freedom. And now the people that profess to want freedom are taking it away from us faster than you can blink 10 times. And then there's all this bullshit, all the disinformation. Oh my God. That's why so many people are clueless morons, TR, if you're still with us. So you're still with me. I don't know how many people are still with me. Oh, I've been talking for 41 minutes. Maybe I'll get some sleep. Maybe. But I just think it's all sad. I think about this stuff. Why am I not depressed? I mean, I should be. I guess it's called collapse acceptance. I've accepted it's all fucked up. I mean, science is dead in the United States. Public health? What's that? What is public health? Glyphosate? What Antonio and I talked about glyphosate today? Potential wars. I mean, we have endless budget for war. And we have a grifter. I did a show, nobody watched, but I did a show on the Board of Bull. I called it the Board of Peace. $10 billion from the Treasury in the United States of taxpayer money, not approved by Congress, going over to who knows what slush fund that the orange turd is handling overseas, probably in Qatar, some bank. I read about it. I did a whole show on it. I did it first. I got maybe 300 views. And then when maybe I get a little mad because then who did it? Keith Edwards, Brian Tyler Cohen, or Midas. They'll get hundreds of thousands for the same show, but it's me because I'm an old lady. I know the system. Nope. So we've got that. We've got ICE in the streets. Data centers, AI, and we're in late stage capitalism. I mean, everything is about the shareholders. You saw Pam Bondi, but the Dow, it's 50. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Run by an oligarchy full of creeps like Scott. And then there's Besson. Besson and Howard Licknuts. Disgusting. Gives me the ugh. All the corporate welfare. But yet they're just pushing austerity on us, on the plebes, on the poverty-stricken poor people. And I'm not even bitching because I own a house and I have some land in the middle of nowhere. I have nothing to complain about other than I can't pay my taxes, and I'm not sure exactly what will happen. But I had to get it out. Late night musings. Maybe people don't like to hear this. I mean, maybe I should just turn into talking about how much I hate the orange turd and talking about all of the normalization of collapse and how they're stealing democracy and how the Trump family is corrupt. But I talk about that anyway. But I sprinkle it with collapse because I've been doing this long enough to see where we're going. Where are we going? So I've mixed it. I have mixed ecological overshoot. I've done a show on grievance politics because that's where we are led by a 4-year-old who leads by grievance politics. Everything is messed up. I found this other okay, thank you. It does. It all needs to be talked about. All does. My God, how did that get so big? Ooh. Okay, it all needs to be talked about. I try. But I'm not Midas touch. I'm not one of the eye hip girls, and I don't get Botox, and my neck is getting icky because I'm getting older. I mean, this is the shit. That bothers me, believe it or not. I'm not depressed over it, but the shit happens. It's happening. It's happening in front of us. I look back 9 years ago. I see my old videos even pop up. I was thinking maybe I should show one of my old videos. Let's see. Before we go to bed, I go to bed and end this. Maybe I have a video. Let's find my channel. Let's see if I can find the channel. And okay, let's see. Let's view the channel here. Okay, here we are. Oh, look, I can see the late night Insomniacs show. 10 people watching. There was another thing that I was trying to learn how to go vertical because I was doing it. I did a members only vertical test and it didn't work very well. Let's go out to videos and let's see if this works. Let me play an old one on like political shit that because I don't think I'm not obviously I don't care if I get something you remember this one? You're going to be like, Donald Trump. Donald Trump. The two words that'll get me a million views. Donald Trump. 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 There. Donald Trump. That's how you get a lot of views. Donald Trump. 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 Hi, Donald. Donald Trump. Donald Trump. Donald Trump. Have we had enough of that yet? Donald Trump. Donald Trump. That was how I figured if I did that all the time, that would be how I would I would get a million views. All right, now I'm feeling better making myself laugh. Yeah, I see you've been a member for 2 years. Thank you, Donald. 2 years. Look at that. Yeah, baby. Look at that. And that's not even that long ago. 1 year ago. Goddamn, shit's changed. I am definitely all right, let me see if I have another one. Yay, baby. Let's look at it. Let's see how far back I can go. Not long ones, just to fuck around here, before I get off. I already talked about what I wanted to talk about, which was the articles that spurred me thinking about all the things happening. The one guy was complaining about how the internet and the algorithms have all but taken away his audience of writing. And he was, pretty popular on Medium at one time. And the tech world is just throwing us away. And I don't even know if I ever get seen anywhere. And then, and then the other guy was talking about collapse in 10 years and getting ready for it. So there's a spectrum out there. And I do like to talk about it all. I mean, I make anti-war videos. I dress up. But I want to find something that it's not that long, but really older. So let's go down. Let's go. And not a live show or anything, just a video. What was this one? The most pro-human thing you can have. Oh, that's a half an hour. You're still with me, so I'm just playing around. Oh, my song, Standing at the End of the World. Independence from what? God, I've made so many videos. Yeah, Michael Campy. Michael Campy. I love Michael Campy, and he follows me, and I follow him. And we write. I've written to him. He's written to me. Michael's a decent guy. You want to watch a 4-minute collapsy one? I might put you to sleep. I don't know. I mean, it was an artistic one. Then I have Flying Free, Ode to Greta. Oh my gosh, I have done so much, so many videos. Jeez, look at this. The societal and ecological contract is broken. But that's 8 minutes. I don't know if we want to do 8 minutes. There's an interview with George Sacralitis. He was pretty good. He was pretty good. Look at that. 6 years ago, Tony and Nicholas and all of us 6 years ago. When actually we could reach a few thousand people, which ain't happening now. And I'm not going to make myself crazy over it. I can't. I just continue to do what I do. I have to say I do it because I like it. Wow. We're going really far back. How far back? Look at that. Tony, 7 years ago. 7 years ago. He's with me a long time. Let's see. When the algorithms are platformed in land-tracked vehicles, the big 50 caliber guns on swivels and swarms will overrun our world. I know. Chaz, you're always telling me this. Chaz writes, see, I have such a good relationship with so many of you. That's why I don't give it up, because I sit here by myself with 7 goddamn cats. I'm the crazy lady. But I have these relationships. What does Sam call them? You know, my imaginary YouTube friends. But you're not imaginary. You're real people. Remember this show I used to do? That was the week that was when I didn't know anything about technology and I had no background. I didn't know I was going to go through this trip up down memory lane. But hey, maybe, oh, look, the new birdhouse, that thing. Let's see, what was the new birdhouse? Oh my God. That was before I even knew how to make videos, really. That thing hasn't even been there. I shouldn't even be on the screen. Can you see it? All right. That was like one of my old. That was one of my old ones. That was an old one. Holy crap. I really got much better at doing the art of making these things. I mean, it's taken me years because I taught myself. I didn't even know how to do anything. I did not know how to do anything. All right, we're going to pick one more and then I'm going to go to bed and let you all go to bed. I'm going to let you all go to bed. What kind of oh, I had my doomer reading list 7 years ago. I don't even want to call myself a doomer. You know why? Because when you peg yourself into a label, it sucks. I'm no label because I'm not one thing. I'm a lot of things. My channel, everybody's different on this channel, our channel. Holy shit. There's some really old ones. These are when I was, oh my gosh. Okay. These were when I was doing interviews with, I should play this one again, Tulsi Gabbard, who has turned out to be such a bitch. That's why I have a thing against her, because she did the Off Fossil Fuels for a Better Future Act. I was interviewing all of these local politicians that were running for Congress. Here's one with Paul 8 years ago. I actually was thinking about this. Tell me what you think about this. If I bring Paul Beckwith on, I was thinking about taking clips from all our interviews together, and there's quite a few, and playing like one little clip and then having him respond to what he said then and how he feels now. I have to write to him. I had Kevin Sandblum on talking about net neutrality. What? Just might shut me up? Well, obviously it didn't. It didn't. I'm going way back, but I don't want to go back to, these are long videos. Look at Guy McPherson. Oh my God. You can see all these? I'm looking for just like an old short one. Look at Paul Beckwith 8 years ago. But I can't find a really short one. 8 years ago. Yeah, the orange turd has ruined how many years of our lives? How many years of our lives? Lordy, lordy. Oh, that was my first interview 8 years ago with Hambone Littletail. You see that? We're not going to play it. I'm going back. But anyway, there's a lot of years of work here. A lot of years of shit. I didn't even know I was going to do this. I don't even know why I'm doing it. And I was sitting I was talking about the AMOC, sitting by my creek. All right, let me find. Here, I'll play this one. I had that visitor in the backyard. There he goes. But I make videos with my trail cam all the time. Oh, really, Donald? We go back 10 years? When it comes to... Yeah, when he started as a little kid, huh? He started as a young'un. A young'un. I started as an old lady. I was finished with my career. Hello, Mr. Pollock 890. There's a new face. Probably you ran into this channel because you're also either up late or in the West Coast. Ah, Jesus. Okay. I really want to play one more before we go to bed. Before I go to bed. Turn in Your Neighbor. I don't know if you've seen them all. Or Don't Cry for Me, Argentina. Actually, this was a pretty good one. I'm going to play Don't Cry for Me, Argentina, since we are still. Hey, good morning, Illuminatus. God, I could stay on all night. People will keep joining us. All right, let's play this one.
Don't cry for me, Argentina.
I think it is very important that Argentina succeed and that we give President Milei our full support. And my prediction is that unless President Milei is stopped in some way from taking the actions that he wants to take, that Argentina will have
Wait a minute. I think I should get myself off the screen because it blocks the video. Hang on. Hang on. I am going to take myself off.
President Milei is stopped in some way from taking the actions that he wants to take, that Argentina will have a massive growth in the economy, and there will be far more prosperity and optimism about the future than there has been perhaps in 100 years.
He's an idiot.
Argentina's fighting for its life, young lady. You don't know anything about it. They're fighting for their life. Nothing's benefiting Argentina. They're fighting for their life. You understand what that means? They have no money. They have no anything. They're fighting so hard to survive. If I can help them survive in a free world, I happen to like the president of Argentina. I think he's trying to do the best he can. But don't make it sound like they're doing great. They are dying. All right? They're dying. What do you mean by that?
We get up one morning and you give Argentina, which is our second biggest competition in the world. They're the largest exporters of soybean meal in the world. So I get up one morning, I turn the news on, and you give $20 billion of taxpayer money to my competition.
The president's commitment is this, that we're moving into an era of rural prosperity, of a golden age for our farmers in rural America.
And then the Chinese buy, I think the figure is 30 or 40 containers, ships, which is about 65,000 metric tons per ship, which is like 2.2 million bushels. So they buy 12 or 14 billion dollars worth of soybeans from the Argentinians.
This Argentina thing is the most fucking corrupt thing that this guy has done yet. His Trump organization has trademarks in Argentina for his businesses. Also, people like BlackRock and PIMCO, they're going to rake in billions of dollars once the bond recovers. Their bonds. Argentina bonds that they hold. This is a fucking con. And he's using our money to do it. Oh, he's not just sending 20 now. He's sending 40 billion. What the fuck are we going to do about this? He's robbing us blind in front of our fucking faces. I've had a goddamn enough of it. I'm not paying another goddamn tax that I can, and I haven't been, and I don't give a fuck who knows. Taxes that I can control and not pay, I'm not fucking paying them. Fuck you. This is ridiculous. This has to stop, and he needs to go to fucking prison. What the fuck are we doing?
Don't cry for me, Argentina.
I like making my podcast. I don't like making short clips of my
I need to come back. For some reason, this is very slow. I just like making videos. Okay, let's get you guys now. I won't show you. I mean, I have a million videos I've made. I make videos all the time. And I am not AI. I am a old-time video editor. And let me tell you, that's another thing that pisses you off. AI slop is everywhere. I work on one video and I have clips and libraries, and I subscribe for music, and I subscribe for clips, and I, do all this shit. How far down which rabbit holes do you wish to go? DM me, Professional Rabbit Hole Explorer and Unicorn Hunter here. Wait a minute, let me find. Listen, I have all this goddamn technology. I should use it. Should I use the applause? Yay! Okay, yay! Doom streaming. But the thing is, I don't want to be in Doom. Just Doom. I want to be a political commentator, a bitch about the orange turd, and the State of the Union. Now, I will say one thing. The State of the Union. I did watch Midas Touch. They are making an alternate State of the Union. I am all for this. I think this is really, really great. Like, all of these lefties are going to go to the Midas Touch State of the Union and not watch the orange turd. Because what's the orange turd going to say? He says it all the time. He's going to sit there and he's going to go like this. He's going to pick out people from the audience and he's going to call them names. Excuse me. He's going to call them names, and it's all working. And the Supreme Court, they're bought off. They're bought off. Oh my God! I should make a funny alternate State of the Union. Well, you just gave me an idea, but I can't be him. Actually, Looney Tunes could be him. I play Ivana. You saw my Ivana. I'm sure you saw me do Ivana. I wanted to do it again this year, but I wasn't feeling good. 2025 was not a great year for me physically, but 2026 is. I haven't been sick once. All right, well, I guess it's been long enough. I've been on for an hour, and I'm all talked out. Now if I have to see if I can go to sleep. All right. Anybody have anything else you want to say? You want me to put up on? Thank you, Soul Life, for being here. And yeah. Listen, you made a comment I didn't like today. I blocked you. Now you come back with another profile. I was pissed off because you accused my friend of taking down my channel. That was wrong. You were not right. That was wrong. That was complete wrong. Be Melania pissed to the world. Melania pissed to the world. Yeah, I'll get some sleep. I'll get some sleep. I'll take a magnesium. I'll fall asleep. Magnesium or a hello, Kate. Yeah, I'm gonna go to bed. I thought, oh, what the hell? Hey, I've got 13 people with me now, all the West Coast people, because it's midnight there. It's what, 12:30 a.m. And then I don't know if Ian's still with me. Ian from Ireland was with me earlier. He's probably 6 hours ahead. What? Yeah, but you were James Fox today, and you said that Collapse Chronicles, you put a comment that he was responsible for taking my channel down. That's like insane. You know it was AI hallucination bullshit, right? All right, what have you been watching? Yeah, I know. I told him. See, I'm not in that prison because I'm not in any prison. I'm in the prison of my own making, which is 7 cats, a house, a garden, property, firewood, cleaning, my daughter. I'm writing. I don't keep myself in a prison. I told him, just stop labeling. Don't be labeled. Stop labeling yourself. I love the guy. He's my friend. He got mad at me because he mistook the alien graphic for a dig. And I'm like, it's not a dig. No, I'm not in a kiddie prison. I love them. Listen, they love me unconditionally, and they don't yell at me, and they don't call me names like the ex-fucking asshole husband did, So, hey, I'm happy. Right. So let's not be labeled. Let's not label ourselves. I mean, yeah, we are, yes, I know about the depression. I know. I want him to come back here. I can't wait till he goes back to Bugs in a Jar. He's happy there, See, sometimes being alone for some people is a lot worse than others. I relish being alone. And I had never been alone. And in May of 2021, when Doug moved out, I started to be alone. And I was never alone. I've been married or with a guy all my life, cumulatively. My whole life. I can't even remember being single. Good night, Kate. I'm going to leave. But then when Doug left, it was me who wanted that. Now being alone is like, it's like, I relish it. I love it. I don't want anybody around me. I don't know if it's a function of age or what it is, but everybody's different. Everybody's different. So that's okay with me. And I'm perfectly happy this way. That's why I say I never get depressed. I get upset because I can't afford my life, but other than that, what other problems I have? My health is good, What? That I'm older? I don't like my neck. I mean, big fucking deal. Freedom. That's right. That's what I got. Freedom from somebody who really was difficult, And I'm sure a lot of us have had those. Yeah, I'm not the only one that loves being alone. Oh my God, I love it. I can't tell you. It's like, God, I don't know. It's kind of, in the beginning, I used to feel guilty. And I used to say to my mom, because my father had passed away also. My stepdad, not my real dad. He died in 2007. My stepdad. And I asked her, she started to be pretty comfortable with being alone. I'm like, do you ever feel guilty? She goes, no. No. She had never been alone either. And it's like we both have this, like, it's not a guilty pleasure. It's just like, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah. It's okay. After doom thou shall rise. Oh, wait a minute. Let's see. Do it. If that's the ice. Where the heck is my, no, oh, there. After doom, thou shall rise. After doom, thou shall rise. Woohoo! Okay, now I'm getting crazy. I have to go to bed. Yeah, it is peace, babe. It is. It's peaceful. I tried, but Sam, he wants somebody so bad. I'm like, be careful what you wish for. All right, guys, let me put on my good night music. Not the horror music. I'll put on my happy good night music and try to get some sleep. Thanks for coming with me. Maybe I'll do a couple more of these insomnia talks. I liked it. It was all right. Hey, I still had the same shit ass makeup on from earlier today. I never even took it off. All right. What? You don't want me to go? You're probably 3 hours earlier than me. I got to get up with these kitties in the morning. I'm happy now. I talked to what Sam calls my imaginary friends. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't say thank you to Charlie. Wait. Thank you, Charlie. Mwah. Charlie's a good guy. Thinks AI is going to be the end of us before climate change. He might be right. Oh, you're in New Jersey. Oh, okay. So did you get a lot of snow? I told the story about my kid. She leaves Buffalo to go to New York City for this particular weekend, and she gets a blizzard down there and brings Buffalo with her. Oh, my God. All right. I love you guys. I'll see you Wednesday night on Left Past 10, which is also my fun show. I have fun. We don't talk about doomosphere. We just talk about silly, whatever comes to our minds. I love this space TV. I love the progressive young people trying to build something. I love that they have me on Thursdays. I have a lot of love, I guess. I'm not a hater. I do hate, though, for the first time, I hate the orange turd and this whole fucking rotten administration. How's that? Can't stand any of them. All right, guys. It's allowed. Yay!